Hey, this is Scott from Banzai. Today I'm taking a look at the Sony W800. Thanks to Cameracraft in Rockford, Illinois for letting me try this out at their shop. The Sony W800 is an entry-level camera in Sony's lineup. This camera has a small 20.1 megapixel 0.31 inch sensor in there. That's 7.76 millimeters. It has a range of 100 to 3200. Photos have a native ratio of 4:3. The camera has an optical zoom lens. It's 5x, which is 4.6 millimeters to 23 millimeters. The full frame 35 millimeter equivalent of that zoom range is 26 to 130 millimeters, with an aperture range of f3.2 to 6.4. So depending on where you zoom, your largest aperture will be based on that range. There is a 2.7 inch LCD screen on there, 6.7 centimeters, 4:3 ratio. It has around 2,300 dots. Contrast is not great. It does have 5 levels of brightness on there. So in outdoor conditions, you can up that brightness level. The camera uses NP-BN batteries with an estimated life per charge of around 200 photos. There is a built-in flash in the camera that's helpful in dark situations so you can get some light and deal with that small sensor slow lens. This camera does have an easy mode, so you can turn that on and get as simple functionality to the camera as possible. You just basically take photos and that's it. But of course you can switch out of that mode. It also has a smile shutter mode. I did try that out, but with a mask on, it didn't appear to function properly. The main way to have creative control with this camera is to adjust the EV compensation or exposure compensation. It has -2 to +2 through that range in 1/3 stops. That way you can get your photos darker or lighter based on the auto exposure to start. There are a few different autofocus modes. You have multi-point AF, center weighted AF, tracking focus, and face tracking focus. In relation to autofocus, I would say keep your expectations very low. It was definitely difficult to gain focus in some situations inside the camera shop. Let's take a look at the image samples from this camera. I am limited inside the camera shop of what types of photos I can take, of course, so just keep that in mind. But at least with these examples, you can get an idea of what you might get out of the camera. Gonna punch into the photos, you can see what they look like at full resolution. I did take my LG Stylo 3 phone out to get a comparison photo. You can see the similarities or differences in that. The LG Stylo 3 has a fixed focal length. It does not have an optical zoom lens, so that is one benefit of a camera like this. You have that optical zoom. So looking at those photos, you can see what a lower end phone might look like from 2017 versus this camera. For an entry-level camera, there are definitely trade-offs in image quality. This camera does shoot video, but the maximum is 720p at 30 frames a second. That is 1280 by 720. Let's take a look at the video clip I shot with this camera. One nice feature of video with this camera is that you can zoom while recording. So if you want to zoom in a little bit or zoom out, you can do that while recording, which is just nice and it's pretty smooth as well. The auto ISO range in video mode goes from 100 to 800. So you do have a little bit of flexibility in there with the video. Considering this is a very entry-level camera, it's more focused on scene modes, picture effects, rather than any type of manual control. With the shooting modes, it has intelligent auto, panorama, program, easy shooting, picture effect, scene selection, steady shot, and party mode. There are various picture effects on this camera: toy camera, pop color, partial color, and soft high key, and then movie has those similar effects. There are various scene modes. You have high sensitivity, night scene, night portrait, landscape portrait, beach, snow, gourmet, and pet mode. I didn't test those all out, but at least know that they are in there and available. You won't really be able to do much manual control besides exposure compensation, or you use one of these modes to get what you're looking for. It does have a self-timer, as I mentioned, also with the face mode, but I don't think it's going to work with masks, at least in my case. But with the self-timer, it's 10 seconds or 2 seconds, and a portrait mode. This camera does not have any wireless capabilities to it, but it does have the USB connection port. It is USB 2.0 that allows you to push files to your computer. It also can do USB charging, which is very nice. I think the main benefit of a camera like this is the optical zoom range, in this case 5x, so you don't have a large zoom range, but it is there. Gives you some differences from a phone potentially based on what you have. If you have a recent, relatively expensive phone, chances are you'll get higher image quality than this camera. But if you do want something totally separate that is very small and just point and shoot, you might as well at least check it out and see if it is high enough quality for you. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video on this Sony W800 entry-level camera. Scott Photography Banzai. Again, thanks to Cameracraft in Rockford, Illinois for letting me try this out at their shop. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and the pause feature. All that helps out a lot. Thanks.